Okay guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this social media flyer for my church. As a creative designer, creating social media flyers are one of the design projects that you will encounter on your design journey. So I'll be explaining this design via the layers here. So this design was done on Photoshop. So let's get started. This was the design I did for my church on 29th of October this year. So I'm going to be explaining via the layers. Okay, so the first thing I do was to get the artboard ready. Some persons call it artboard, some persons call it Canva, so whatsoever one works for you. So I placed a background on it. Yes, this was the background. Now, the reason why I used this background was when I heard the theme of the program, and what the program was tagged is Super Sunday. So it has something to do with energy. It has to enforce an energy when something is super, something that has to do with energy. So I had to pick this background, and if you watch here closely, you see that it has warm colors, more of the warm colors from the color palette here. So that was the reason why I picked this background. It's going to help me invoke the kind of feeling I want on the design. So even after I got the background, there was an extra touch here to reduce because it was bright. So I had to use this max here, and if you watch, there are some ash color and black color. That was what I used to tune down the background so it's not that bright. And I also did a little of them here too. So then the next thing was I placed the minister, and then I used my brush tool with the help of my marks, and I hit some part of the minister here. Then there was an extra one here, so I placed the second. This is my father in the Lord, so I placed him here. So this other shadow here was to create a contrast to separate the two images so they don't really fight each other. So that was the reason for that. Then this rectangle, then the church logo. Now I did this Super Sunday. If you can see, it looks like a text effect. Yeah, this Super Sunday looks like a text effect. It wasn't a mock-up. I did this from scratch. So if you go to this drop icon here, you see the necessary options I had to use so that I'll be able to get this effect. Let me show them to you. So yeah, to get that effect, first I added a drop shadow. Watch, a drop shadow. Then there was a gradient overlay. Now please watch here to see if I take this off. You see this place. So that was what the shadow was for. The gradient overlay, it's minimal there. So there was an inner glow, a stroke, then bevel and emboss. Now you can play around with this. I'm not going to be showing you the settings because you can just play around with it and use whatsoever works well for you. So this was what I preferred. This was based on my own preference. So that was how I came up with that. Then another thing I did was I tilted this towards, if you watch, I tilted it to up. I tilted this text up. Now, I will advise before tilting, it's a good practice to place all your text first, then you highlight all of them, then tilt them up. So you don't have this issue of there won't be uniform when you start tilting each of them. So how do you tilt? When you select the text that you want, you hit your Ctrl plus T to transform the image. Then you right click on it and you go to skew. So this allows you to move it the way you want. Then you tick the good here. So I'm going to be returning back to how it was before. So then I started placing my texts. Each of them tilted to one direction. There's an arrow here indicating the hues to give further clarity. And this is the name of the expected guest. Now this was just, I did this on Photoshop. This was just a shape, a rectangular shape. Then I rasterized it and used the option liquify. Now if it's here, I just right click, rasterize layer will be active, and I click it. So I just placed this here, and this is the theme of the program. Yeah, the theme of the program. This is the theme of the program. So I use this element here like a rectangle to further create emphasis on the theme. So this is the name of my church, and so I grouped the dates and the time. So this was it, the location, and yeah. So this is just basically everything. After I selected the background, I placed the image of the ministers, then I placed the text. Okay, so after doing this, yeah, this is good to go, but I usually use my camera raw filter to add a little bit of effect on my designs when I'm done. So I'll be showing you how I do that. So after designing, I apply the levels. Watch, you see there's a little bit of a color pop on the design when I activate the levels layer. See, there's a high level of contrast and the color. I also use a color balance to bring the image to uniform. So if you watch, especially this from the background, between the background, the ministers, you see that, see there's not a color blend between the entire design. Then I go to my camera raw filter and do the final touches based on the effect I want. So this is just me explaining my design process. So it's loading. I double click on the camera raw option here. So now you can see there are three things activated here: the basic, the detail, and the effect. So I did nothing here. You can see the exposure, contrast, the highlights, they are all good. I did nothing here, but I increased the texture a little bit, increased the clarity to 26, and the dehaze. So that was basically what I did here with the vibrance. So these are the value based on my own preference. So you can decide to use whatever. I can explore with this and decide what you can use. Then I came to the detail. I reduced the noise. I increased the noise reduction to 14. I sharpened the image to 31. 31 is good enough for me, so I don't make the image to just look like a structure. Then I went to the effects. I added a little bit of grains the value of the grain was 30, then the vignetting was 21. So the vignetting is just like a black like creating a fish eye on a particular side. So those were basically what I did. So I won't be clicking OK. I'll canceling it. Yep. So if I activate this now, see, this was before and this was after. So guys, that was how basically I achieved this social media flyer using Photoshop. I hope you have learnt a thing or two from this tutorial. Let me know what you think on the comment section. So don't forget to like my channel and to subscribe. If you have a question, you can ask it on the comment section and I promise I'm going to reply as soon as possible. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.